Hi everyone, and welcome to this new video. For this project I have decided to make the Rita Hayworth black dress from Gilda when she sings "Put the Blame on Mame." This is probably one of the most iconic Hollywood costumes, and it was designed by Jean-Louis. This is something I've been thinking about doing for the last maybe 6 months or so. But now I'm actually able to do it with thanks to my patrons who have supported me over on Patreon. If this is something you would like to do, you can find the link to my Patreon down below, or if not, just click on the Super Thanks tab below the screen. So let's get into making this famous Hollywood dress. I start by cutting out the understructure layer in cotton drill. I transfer all the seam lines to the pieces using carbon paper and a tracing wheel, which you've seen me do before. Then I seam the pieces together and apply the boning channels. After this, I move on to cutting out the front and back pieces of the bodice on the bias of the fabric. I sew the bust starts and mount the fabric onto the backing and sew the centre front seam. I then move on to cutting out the skirt. This is so big, as it's all cut in one piece, I have to cut it out on the floor. Here you can see me basting in all the markings on the front of the skirt, but I will need to line things up with the bodice. I sew the darts into the back of the skirt. And pull up the gathering threads on the front of the skirt. And hem the raw edges by hand. Here you can see me sewing the bodice back onto the skirt back. And then hand sewing the skirt front onto the bodice. Next, I sew all the layers together in the side seam. The hip drape is made of 2 layers of fabric sewn together and then turned through and pressed, and sewn onto the skirt by hand. Next, I insert the zip into the left-hand side of the dress. and sew a strip of bias fabric around the neckline, edge stitch it and sew it down by hand to the inside. And now you've seen the completed costume. I'm so happy with how this one's turned out. I had a really good feeling about this one from the very beginning when I started cutting it. It's come together so well and fairly fast. It's a dress you could probably wear today on the red carpet. It's something quite timeless about it. You would never know if you were wearing it now that this was designed in 1946. Also, the design elements that were done on this dress to conceal Rita Hayworth's post-pregnancy are very clever, as you can see with the draping across the front, the raised waistline detail and the side drape. I would like to thank my patrons from Patreon who have made this project possible, and if you would like to support me on Patreon, I will leave a link in the description below. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel and to give me a thumbs up, as this always helps, and leave a comment too. And I will see you all again very soon in the next video.